if you are a teacher in the school system anywhere in the world where there are now massive crises, to my joy, then you are in a bit of some trouble, because the education system all over the world sucks. The education system, schools, which are so normal for people now, they just send their children to school. Nobody is really questioning the system. And what's going on in the system is children are learning maths and English, basically, and everything else around that. Any type of education system that is teacher-led and not child-led is bullshit. It is all bullshit. You have no right to be sending your child into a system to be schooled, because your child is literally fresh new consciousness with its own power, its own ways, its own freedoms, its own gifts, and you are doing a shitty thing by allowing children to go into the system, getting schooled in stupid ways by teachers who are interested in paying their mortgages, going on holidays, and being subservient to a system of idiots who only are able to comprehend only the most basic things. There is no critical thinking in the education systems, certainly not in Canada, the UK, the US, maybe and Australia, but maybe in the US, because they're so rebellious, there are different types of schools, so I don't really know as much, but I have worked in the rest of them, and except for Australia. But nevertheless, schools are a problem everywhere. There is a crisis. Europe has a crisis. Canada has a crisis. The education system everywhere is literally is a problem. Now, I don't know where people's brain is by taking their child, dropping them off at a school, and expecting a sexless zombie with no energy to be teaching your child. If it was me, I would never allow any type of those women that are in that system to be teaching my child anything. They have absolutely zero consciousness, awareness, and their job is to pound the shit out of your bright consciousness, that child you've given there, and teach them ridiculous, ludicrous things they will never use. And then eventually they come out into a secondary school system in which is absolute chaos right now, because children are a result of the primary system, go into the secondary system, and then start kicking back like crazy. In reality, children up to 5 or 6, after that, they need to start choosing what they're doing, because once they're up to the time when they stop playing and then you try to put them into machine mode, which is about grade 1 or 2 or year 1 and 2, then they start going into machine mode. They start testing them in grade 2, year 2 in the UK. It's just insane. And they're worried about the children not meeting standards and bullshit like that. Just absolute shit. So children who are autistic and who have other types of abilities, even people who are children who are have ability to build and to create through physical building and their bodies, and they're just pounded the shit out of. And then you wonder why, at the end of it, boys come out to be so horrific. The secondary school systems in the UK are a good look at. You should look at those and see what's emerging from them. Children are in complete rebellion and chaos over it. So what's happened is that as this happens, two things are occurring. Either teachers are quitting and leaving, so now there's a shortage of teachers all over the world because of this stupidness, or children are rebelling to such a point where teachers need to get stricter and stricter. Does it make any sense that children have to be forced into a system because you say so? It's so stupid. Children And even children who are about 14, 15, which are not children anymore, but going into adulthood, are in adulthood at 14, 15. They're children, but they're not babies, they're teens, can make their own decisions by following their hearts and their dreams and their creative energy. Not everybody is going to want to do maths. Nobody has to. In a new society where we allow freedom, we can create situations in which children are exposed to things like maths, sciences, geography, history, whatever. And then once they're exposed, if they look like they need to or want to or desire to continue with it, then they should be encouraged by people called guides, not teachers. The idea of putting them in with a teacher is so ludicrous and so damaging, because it makes the child believe that they can't trust themselves and they have to listen to some other authority figure who doesn't know anything about them, nothing about their consciousness, doesn't understand their desire for freedom, pounds the shit out of you till you come out. By the time you're 10 and 11, you have adhered to the system, and then you have to sit there and talk about how wonderful your teacher is and how grateful you are to your parents for shoving you into the system, coming out as a perfectly tied up package of shit. This is the school systems for you. Nothing will make me change my mind about the school systems. It doesn't matter where you go and how creative they are and how much they learn. The basic bottom line is teachers are there because society has given them a need, because we work, the rest of us work. But if we're going to do it that way, at least let's make it fun for the children. Make it children-led. Make it pure. Make it look like you want to be there. Put fountains, put playgrounds, make it so that they don't need to ask to go to the bathrooms, to drink water, to eat when they want. There should be naps for them. What the hell is going on? You've got people pounding the shit out of you, telling you when you can eat, sleep, shit, piss, when you can eat. I mean, it's just so crazy, and nobody questions this. So, and then you need to take a look at those women that they hire to teach children. This is toxic. This is, it's the devil's playground. You're hiring nut bars who are toxic females, who are full of themselves, who have no awareness, to teach your child how to be free and creative. Emil, the only types of children that should be allowed into the current system are the ones that are going to get nowhere, and that's most of them, because some children just have no energy. So this pumping up of saying that all children are the same and they deserve the same rights and respect and is absolute bullshit. And you really need to examine this whole system, and we need to start coming up with ideas of rearranging it, making it child friendly, child led. Right now it's teacher friendly, teacher led. And what they're doing is cutting out teachers that are experienced, throwing them out and bringing in naive ones who don't know any better either. So this whole thing needs to be nipped in the bud now. And the reason why is because it is the school systems that are primarily responsible for the lunacy that is coming out at the end. This is the system that is the tightest, and the system that doesn't want to let go at any point for that child, because it will change the entire structure of society. So we need to start looking at either smaller places to educate our children, places that are children led. Some people may just want to do art their whole life, and that's their prerogative, to do art their whole life. The rest of them, maybe they want to do maths their whole life. That's what they should be doing. Maybe they have a maths and science tendency. That's what they need to be following. But they need to choose it for themselves, not you and your ludicrous people that you hire, idiots in the system that you put there, who have no ability to critically think, who are toxic feminine, who are brought up by toxic female mothers and perpetuate the system. If you're a man in the system, you're just like a woman as well. It's just, you're not making a difference. You're adding to the problem. Men should never let their sons go into the system. For boys, it is death sentence. That's what the school system is, a death sentence. For girls, it suppresses them, their shadow sides. So anything that they haven't expressed, it goes deep down into the dark side, and then they start to try to make you like them. They try to show only their nice side, so that their bad side or their unintegrated side goes deep into the psyche and never emerges until years and years later, when she's married and starts bitching and starts passing on her toxic femininity onto a daughter. So this is what's going on. This is the deliberate, this schooling of children needs to change now. It's urgent. And right now they're lumping some of the juiciest energy children with the shittiest energy children, and they're all churning them out into the system. So something is urgently need to be done. People are say, oh, I don't want to get involved with education, teaching, and this. That's the prime problem. This is the whole problem, is where it starts, and we need to finish it there, and it needs to be brought out into the light, because right now the education system is a child abuse system. Doesn't matter what people think. Parents just using it as an excuse so they get rid of the kid or to go to work, because it's just the only place for them to go.